Good day to you, good day to you, good day to you. This is your guy, Anthony Brinkley, coming to you one more time, the Maestro of Resilience. I want to first say thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. But more than that, I want to thank you for being a part of my journey. You have helped me in so many ways, and I can't even express with the words accurately how impressed, how much I've been supported, and how much it helps me to keep moving. So with that, I want to hit you with this week's resilience moment. Use your words to build. Use your words to build. Words matter. If I had to put a tag on this, I would call it words matter. So I walk around the track here in Florida when I'm home to get myself recharged and refreshed. And there's one guy who walks with me sometime. And he's an amazing man. His name is Charles. And Charles was an Army veteran. And Charles did some things that when he tells me, I look at him like, wow, I had no idea what you went through. But specifically as it relates to this subject, he was actually in a tank that exploded. He was actually blown through a tank. And he could have died. He should have died. And even having him walk around the track with me is amazing because of some of the injuries he sustained, not just from that circumstance, but another circumstance in combat. And the thing about Charles, when he talked to me, he said, hey, I was in a coma for a period of time. And I used to wonder when people would say, a person in a coma, and they could hear what you're saying, and, so you got to be careful what words you use. I'm like, yeah, is that true? But I never really met anyone that was able to verify that until I met Charles. And he told me stories about when he was in the hospital. He said it was one of the hardest things he ever went through because you could hear when people are talking to you. He said some people came in the room and like, oh my God, look how much swelling he has on him. Oh my goodness, he looks like he's not going to make it. And then there would be people who say affirmative things like, man, I miss him. I hope he comes back and he's such a good man and all of those things. He said, but I was in my body. It was like I was in a dream, but I couldn't wake up and I couldn't let people know. And he said, I could remember there were times where people said, well, there's tears coming out of his eyes. And he told me when people were saying that, he was feeling so much emotion, but he couldn't articulate it and he was crying. Well, what does that have to do with what I'm talking about now? Well, in my own personal life, one of the hardest things I ever dealt with was when my father was transitioning. I was stationed in Little Rock, Arkansas. I was the command chief of that base, so we had 6,000 people we were responsible for. And it was a tremendous opportunity to connect with people. But on a personal note, I got a phone call from my brother saying, hey, our dad had a massive stroke. We don't know what's going to happen. So I flew to North Carolina and I sat with him day upon day and just talking to him in the hospital. And I remember telling him, like, Dad, I just want you to know I love you. Dad, I just want you to know that whatever happens, I'm going to carry what you gave me. Dad, there was things that if you think that anything I held against you, there's nothing. You're the best father I could have had. You gave me everything you had. Sometimes I didn't understand things, and sometimes I was the immature thing. I talked to him about all these different things for days and days and days. And I remember just saying, I hope he could hear. And until I was talking to Charles recently, I didn't know because I'd never met anybody who had been through an experience like that. But it gave me so much joy in my heart to know that as my dad was sitting there, he and I were the only ones sitting in there for hours at a time, knowing that something that I was saying was speaking life to my dad. And I also understood that he was going through his transition. But I want to encourage you all. People say things like, we're human beings. We're going through this life as humans. But I tell people, no, we were created by the eternal one. We're not human beings. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And so I know that on the other side of this human experience, there's going to be a spiritual connection when I transition myself. So I'm saying all that for you to say, use your words to build. Use your words to affirm. Even if it's something that you have to speak on, it's a hard subject, you can correct someone in love. You can admonish someone in a way that builds them up. So this week, no matter what happens to you, speak life. Speak light. Be that one that helps somebody. And start with yourself. No matter what you're going through, you are 1 in 400 trillion to be here, meaning you have purpose. I don't care what someone said to you. Remember, the good Lord created you for times such as these. So you got this. So use your word to speak life and light. And speaking of that, share this, subscribe, hit the notification, and share these words with other people who might be discouraged today. I love you. There ain't nothing you can do about it. I'm going to talk to you soon. Peace and blessings to you. You're going to think, some of you going to laugh, some of you going to cry, but we're going to get better before this is over. Understand this, there is no such thing as tomorrow. Tomorrow is aspirational, because when tomorrow gets here, it's going to actually be today. So what are you doing today? What are we doing today as a collective body to make sure that we can make things better? Live your life.
A passionate Anthony Brinkley is a problem solver. He's an author and motivational speaker using his skills after decades in the military to teach people how to be resilient and take action.
The most valuable thing in your life is time. Every day in America, 7,000 people die. So 7,000 people that thought they were going to wake up today didn't. Anybody besides me never thought they'd be 30 years old? Put your hand up. I would get up and put my mask on. Hey, Brinkley, how you doing? I'm doing great. And that's why I come here to talk to you, to remind you that you're not what you went through.